Underway, everybody, with the Pro Championships. As the boys are starting to warm up, let's make it feel welcome. So, hello St Kilda and the original Extreme Sports, STIHL Timbersports. It's about to get underway. We're excited to bring back to St Kilda here, 2024, for the Australian Rookie Championships. We just saw Awatea take out the title. The STIHL Timbersports is an international extreme sports competition series which sees the world's best athletes compete against each other all over the world. And the clock across heart racing disciplines based on traditional logging skills. Today we've got Australia's top 12 pro athletes who will fight tooth and nail with razor sharp axes and high powered chainsaws in the bid to be crowned, of course, the Australian champion. We'd also like to say a big g'day to all the fans and other athletes around the globe watching and live streaming here today. So let's get today's proceedings underway. Take a look at the screen and we'll see how the Australian Championship competition is going to work.
In round one, 12 athletes will compete in the underhand chop, the standing block, and the STIHL stock saw. At the end of round one, the bottom four will be eliminated and the top 8 will compete in round two, where points double for the single buck and springboard. Before the start of the third and final round, 2 more athletes will be eliminated, leaving just 6 to shoot it out for triple points and the Australian crown in the hot saw.
Now I'd like to introduce you to our STIHL Timbersports officials for today's competition, starting with the Australian Sports Director, Shane Maxwell from Queensland. Welcome, Shane. On stage today making the calls, we have our judges, Neil Richardson. G'day, mate. And Steve Lorenz from New South Wales, and from Vic we have Simon Holmes. Oh, Simon's on here today, unfortunately. Our video judge for today will be reviewing all times is Scott Bennett, and officiating the scoring in the competition control centre all the way from Brazil is Ricardo Camargo. G'day. Hiding away up there. Now let us introduce the athletes for the 2024 Australian Pro Championship. Let's give our athletes a big round of applause and let's have a look at the pairings for the first round. That's all right. From Osborne Park, Western Australia, he's back and ready to take on the top guns of his sport. He has one team world title with the Chopperoos. It's Brent Rees, everybody. From Proston, Queensland, this is his first appearance in the Pro Championship, but don't let that fool you, as he's here to make his mark and show these pro athletes that he's ready to battle it out. It's Brian Wagner. From Deloraine, Tasmania, he's one of the fastest springboard climbers in Australia, and he is here to show the top athletes that it's ready to make that podium this year. It's Daniel Gurr, everybody. From Sheffield, Tasmania, he's a fierce competitor and ready to show the top athletes that he's here to take the win. Cody Steers. Mundabera, Queensland. He's the dark horse of the competition. Each year he gets closer and closer to getting the podium. Will this year be his year to be crowned a champion? It's Jake Dingle, everyone. From Colville, New South Wales. He placed 7th at last year's pro competition and his first year competing on the big stage. Will he make it to the podium this year? It's David Rumour. Rumour has it. From Kingsthorpe, Queensland. Next up is the dominant force in the sport with 17 world championships under his belt, 1 individual world title, 2 Australian championship wins, and currently holds the world record for the underhand chop. It's Braden Mayer. Tungabi, Victoria. He's the man with the massive axe with 3 Team World Championship golds in a trophy cabinet. Glenn Gillam, everyone. From Blackbuck, Queensland, he's the man, the myth, the legend, and the fastest standing block chopper in the world. He has won 4 Team World titles with the Chopperoos. Mitch Argent. From Doncaster, when it comes to wood chopping, there's only one family that is a legendary in the sport. He's your 2018 individual world champion, 8-time team gold winning chopperoo, Lawrence O'Toole. Woo! From Lithgow, New South Wales, is a formidable competitor in the timber sports and he's won 8 Team World titles with the Chopperoos, 2 Australian championship wins and 2 World Championship titles. It's Brad DeLosa. From Burpengary, East Queensland. He's at the top of his game and he's here to take the podium by storm. He's a 5-time Team World Champion, your last year's Australian champion and the world reigning champion, Jamie Head. All right. Let's give them one more round of applause, everybody. Let's take a look at the pairings for the first round. There's some great matchups. Well done, everyone.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the STIHL Timbersports Australian Pro Series. Please welcome our first 2 competitors to the underhand, Brent Rees from Western Australia and Brian Wagner from Queensland. Make them welcome. Brian, his first time in the Australian Championship in the STIHL Timbersports. Brent, been competing for many, many years. We'll hand them over to the starter.
Athletes ready. Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Great cut from there for Brian. It's a good one always to get the first one out of the way for everybody. You can see Brent's log split in half there. That really doesn't make much difference to them so long as there's no infringement of the rule. Some pretty slick times there. We have the world record holder Braden Meyer coming out soon.
Both cuts were good.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. 15 seconds and 17 seconds, going fairly well. The competitors cut the same species of wood in the steel timber sports right around the world. So it's uniform, so we know that all our records always stand and stay true. We had a postponement yesterday due to bad weather, so down at lovely St Kilda Beach on this Sunday morning, a few people starting to file in. That's great to see. We have a hard-working Steel Timber Sports crew. Always do a great job. So both the times for Brian and Brent were personal best times. So that's good to see. So it's an indication that the wood's pretty good. Okay, we're going to bring our next competitors onto the stage for Heat 2. Cody Stairs from Tasmania and Daniel Gurr from Tasmania. Make them welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Cody's the all-round champion of champions in Tasmania. Daniel's the current world tree felling champion. We'll hand you over to the starter.
Out of the scarfing.
Athletes ready. Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
See Cody's going for his drive there. Great time there by Cody. 15.32. Daniel's there, not far away. So the guys that come through, Daniel, he's a great axeman, one of the best axemen in the world, and they just need to be up in the points a little bit with their non-favoured events. Cody Steers there.
Both cuts were good.
Okay, looks like there was 2 personal bests there as well. Daniel will actually be happy with that, to cut a personal best in that underhand. He's a great axeman. Again, the guys are doing a great job cleaning up on the stage. Our judges and officials, timekeepers. Steel Timber Sports Pro Australian Championship. competitors spend all year preparing for these events. So we're going to go to the screen and have a look at the tool, the axe, the wood chopping axe.
The axes used in Stihl Timbersports definitely can't be bought at a hardware store. Made from special steel, the blades vary in width from 19 to 21 centimeters wide and weigh between 2.5 to 3.5 kilograms. Each axe is hand sharpened with a bevel angle of 13 to 16 degrees and are so sharp you can shave them. Top athletes bring up to 8 axes to a competition, each one slightly different to account for any variances in the wood.
Okay, leaderboard, you'll see the leaderboard there, all personal best times. Cody Steers, he's sitting on 12 points. The fast time there at 14.86 for that underhand. Brian Wagner in second, Brent in third, Daniel in fourth. Again, the guys just want to go through their non-favoured events as best they can. So as we progress through the day, there'll be 4 drop out after the first couple of rounds. And then we'll get down to the hot saw at the end of the day. So we've had our first couple of heats there, Brian and Brent. Cody and Daniel. One of the favourites of timber sports in Australia will be two of the favourites. One of Melbourne's own. Won't be long, ladies and gentlemen. We're just sorting out a bit of a sound issue, and we'll get you started. You'll see the names on the heats there remaining. All great timber sports competitors, world champions. Won't be long and we'll get you underway.
That wasn't quite in properly, that bottom one.
The lovely St Kilda Beach 2024 Australian Pro Championships in the STIHL Timbersports Series. We thank you for your hospitality. We hope you have a great day.
I've got no idea. Try it. One, two, one. One, two.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
That speaker's not going. That's
Okay. Okay. Two of our favourites in STIHL Timbersports Australia, please welcome to the stage Brad DeLosa and Victoria's Lawrence O'Toole. World champions in this event, world team champions. They'll be looking to put a mark on today's proceedings with this event.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
See, they both got a great start there. Lawrence is around. He's getting ready to get around. Brad's around. They'll be around together. Oh, there we are, Brad.
Both cuts were good.
Not too far away from their personal best times, but not quite this morning. So we see there in the underhand chop so far, Cody Steers with a personal best time of 14.86. Brian Wagner sneaking in there, first time competitor in the Pro Series. We're just about right. Okay, our next two athletes, Mitchell Argent and Jamie Head. Jamie, the current title holder.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Well, we're all very close there in the finish. Great times, both in the very low 17-second range. Both great competitors in the steel timber sports.
Both cuts were good.
Both cuts are good. Well, if those times stand, they're both personal best times for those competitors. Jamie Head and Mitchell Argent. Jamie, the current champion, doing his best today to defend his title. Our winner today will be going over to Toulouse in France in November. They'll be representing Australia in the Steel Timber Sports series over there. Australia's been very fortunate and been very successful, both in the team event and the individual events. Okay, we'll welcome our next two competitors, Victoria's Glenn Gillam and Queensland's Jake Dingle. Both great competitors. They'll be looking both to get their name on the trophy to head over to France in November.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Great start there. You can see Glenn's a quick hitter. Both around. Great time there. We'll just have to wait for confirmation of our times.
Both cuts were good.
Okay, you can see, ladies and gentlemen, too, we're getting close to the world record that our own Braden Meyer holds of 12.01 seconds in that event. Braden will be out shortly, competing with an up and coming Steel Pro champion in David Rumer. Braden has set that world record in the underhand on a couple of occasions in recent years. So we'll see if he can beat his mark today of 12.01. David Rumer is a great underhand competitor. He'll make his mark in the Steel Timber Sports Pro Series over the next few years, there's no doubt. Braden Meyer, the current world record holder. Please welcome to the stage David Rumer and Braden Meyer.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Braden's around there in pretty quick time. David not too far behind him. Oh, there you go. There you go. We'll have to wait for confirmation of that, but an unbelievable time there from Braden. Yeah, it's unofficial, ladies and gentlemen, but it looks like he's broken his own world record. What a cut from Braden Meyer. 11.96 by the timers there, so it's very, very fine. We'll have to wait to get the official results.
Okay, we've got a DQ on stand A. David's cut through his foothold. Good cut on stand B.
Oh, that's bad luck there for David.
Take a
That's
photo.
part of our sport. We will wait for confirmation of that. Braden, unofficial, mate, but that was a very good cut.
Yeah, I had a good front, but I split my log. I had a crack in it when I set it up, and I put a few screws in it, and it split to the dog. So I was a bit worried when I turned. But I thought, oh bugger it, just go for it.
Yeah, well, that's the way to do it. All or nothing. Again, you're very, very close to that world record time again, mate. So congratulations on that. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. It is a new world record, 11.81 seconds for the underhand. Great cut there by Braden. Jake would be very happy with that, coming in second place, sorry. You can see with a 14.66. Cody Steers, a lot of personal best times there, so it's a good indication that the competitors are ready for today's competition. Unfortunate for David Rumer with the DQ, but we have the rules in place for a reason. The stock saw will be coming up next. The MS661. Professional saw used by foresters and arborists all around the world. Probably the premier chainsaw in the world. So that's our underhand chop out of the way. You see Braden Meyer there with maximum points of 12. Cody Steers, Glenn Gillum, Brian Wagner, first timer in the Pro Series in Australia. Great axeman. So you can hear the saws Out the back, they're professionally tuned by STIHL engineers. So when your hand is on the throttle, all the saws are tuned to the exact same RPM as the position in the trigger, so there's no variation in the saws. So we like the crowd. Thank you for coming out. We had a delay or a postponement in our day yesterday. So we're lucky enough to have a nice sunny day on beautiful St Kilda Beach today. Okay, the stock saw discipline is next. Let's go to the screen and have a look at what this discipline's all about.
The STIHL stock saw is the first of our sawing events. Placing both hands on the trunk of the 40-centimetre block, athletes must reach for their chainsaws on the sound of the gun and cut 2 perfect cookies within the allocated 10 centimetres of wood or face the dreaded DQ. The MS661 professional saw. They're on the stage ready to go. Our first 2 competitors will be out shortly. We'd like to welcome to the stage Brian Wagner from Queensland and Brent Rees from Western Australia. Both very accomplished with the saw.
Warm up the saws. Athletes ready?
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Stand down, guys. Yep.
Well, not a thing. We're not.
That was well done by those 2 competitors. We're having a few sound issues, ladies and gentlemen, that we're working through. Yesterday's weather played a bit of havoc with some of the gear. So Neil Richardson there is the chief judge for the day. He does a great job. Our competitors will just stand easy for a couple of minutes. Yep, so the guys have got to be able to hear the start over the top of the saws, and they can't do that, or can't get a proper start if they can't hear properly.
Stand to your
So
timber.
we're working through it now.
3, 2, 1, go!
There we go, they'll just...
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1,
Turn 'em
go!
off.
Okay,
Switch them off.
looks like they're both about right. They'll restart the event, restart their saws.
Your saws. Athletes ready?
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Both the boys got a good start there. Pretty good time there by Brenner, 12.41, unofficial times up there. That was a bit better. You'll see there on in the front of the stage the Australian champion STIHL Timbersports trophy. All these guys are keen to get their hands on that a bit later on today.
Both cuts were good.
Okay, well done, guys. Our work crew there doing a great job cleaning up. Our next competitors have both posted very good times in this event. We thank everybody for coming down this morning. We had a postponement yesterday due to the weather, so thank you, St Kilda, for putting on a nice morning for us. Okay, we've got our first two times there. Brent and Brian. Both posting personal best times. So again, a good indication early in the event that the competitors are well prepared. Okay, our next two competitors, ladies and gentlemen, Jake Dingle from Queensland and David Rumer from New South Wales.
Warm up your saws. Athletes ready?
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Both got a good start there. David looked like he was into the wood first. You can see the competitors when they put too much pressure on the saw, it slows the chain down a little bit, and that makes the world of difference to the times that they can cut. Again, looks like both personal best times for those guys in that event.
Both cuts were
Both cuts
good.
are good. The winner of today's event will get the opportunity to go over to Toulouse in France in early November to represent Australia in the World Champion. You see Jake's time there at 11:86. That's a very good time. Personal best time for him. Okay, welcome to the stage, Braden Meyer and Glenn Gillum.
Warm up your saws. Athletes ready?
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
.11.72 there, unofficial time for Braden, but a good time. 10.48's his fastest, so not quite there. The judges are conferring.
Okay, we've got a DQ on stand B. Glenn's hit the deck with the tip of the saw. Good cut on stand A.
Well done, Braden. Now we heard there that Glenn touched the deck with that saw. That chain will get changed. So the chains and the saws are both professionally tuned and professionally sharpened, so there's no variation with the saws of any description, so that saw will go off. We do have another saw that they run out the back in case of an event like that, and that chain will get changed on that saw, and that saw will then get reintroduced back into the competition. So Braden Meyer was close to his personal best time, but not quite, and Glenn will be disappointed with that. So our next two competitors both have personal best times of 12.92 and 12.37, so very, very close. So there we go on the points so far for the stock saw. Braden with an 11.52 in first place with maximum points at the moment. We still have our competitors to go. So our MS661 we're going to throw to the screen and have a look at what the tool is all about.
The STIHL MS661 CM stock saw is used in STIHL Timbersports. Designed for the toughest jobs in forestry, it produces approximately 7.3 horsepower, has a displacement of 91.1 cc and weighs 7.4 kilograms. To ensure evenly and fairly matched saws, professional STIHL technicians prepare and test the saws before each competition.
So our next two competitors, we welcome to the stage Cody Steers and Mitchell Argent. Oh, they're still changing the chain on the saw out the back. Yep, and they'll warm them up. So competitors, that's my fault. We had a false start. Won't be a second, they're just tuning that saw again. Be a couple of minutes before we get a start. the MS661, a professional saw used by foresters and arborists all around the world. It's the premier saw, without question. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, sorry about that. We'll get things underway again with Cody Steers and Mitchell Argent. Both competitors have their personal best times in the 12-second range. So this is a great matchup with the MS661C professional chainsaw.
Warm up your saws. Athletes ready?
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Shut him down. Shut him down.
So the competitors, ladies and gentlemen, they've got the saws idling, they've got their hearing protection on, and they've got to be able to be spot on with their start time, so hearing the start is vitally important. A tenth of a second makes the world of difference. And if you look over there at the board, their times are still running, so you would hope that they don't have a 50 or 60 second time. It's a beautiful location here at St Kilda Beach for the STIHL Timbersports Australian Championship. Great location. You see the big freighter ships out there in the distance. We've got a pretty good day. We had a postponement yesterday due to the weather. So we're going again today. The winner of the Australian STIHL Timbersports Champion will get to represent Australia in Toulouse in France in early November. And all of these competitors are very keen to get their name on this magnificent trophy there at the front of the stage. We'll get our timers reset, get our sound fixed up shortly. Okay, we're going to throw to the screen to have a quick look at the 2023 championship from last year, just while we make up a bit of time. Okay, so we're just going to do a test of the timing system and the sound, and then they'll start the event again.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Okay, they'll stop their saws and get restarted.
Warm up your saws. Athletes ready?
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Great start by both the competitors there. Oh yeah, look at that. Unofficial times there on the board, but it appears as though Mitchell has well and truly exceeded his personal best time of 12.37.
Both cuts were good.
Both cuts were good. Had a little bit of an interrupted competition there while we're getting everything sorted for the guys, so it does make it a little bit hard for them. We thank everybody for coming out today, those that have made their journey down. It's a beautiful location here at St Kilda Beach. The STIHL Timbersports 2024 Australian Championship. The winner of today's event will go to Toulouse in France in early November for the competition over there. The Australian representatives have done very, very well in the past 15 years of competition, winning many of the world and individual championships. We just have a change of logs so the competition is fair. We start the competition with 12. Our standing block is the event after the stock saw. And after the standing block, 4 competitors will go no further in the competition today. So we'll go from 12 down to 8 after the standing block. The stage crew do a wonderful job in keeping everything well prepared. We've had a few technical difficulties today, but still going to make for a great day's timber sports competition. Our next two competitors only have less than half a second between their personal best times. So you can hear the saws, the MS661 professional saw being tuned out the back. The logs are preserved in plastic to keep them nice and fresh. Won't be long and our next two competitors will be out again. Only half a second separates our next two competitors. One of those competitors is Victoria's favourite son. So you see our judges there, they get an allocated amount of timber of 10 centimetres or 100 millimetres. And that line that they're drawing goes right around the log, and that line cannot be broken by the saw or the chain at any stage, otherwise that's a disqualification. They cut two cookies from that allocated 10 centimetres. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Daniel Gurr and your own Lawrence O'Toole. Both competitors very, very good at this discipline. Again, less than half a second separates their previous times. We've seen some personal bests this morning already in the stock saw. Both these guys work with chainsaws every day.
Warm up your saws. Athletes ready?
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Both into the wood there together. This will be a good race. See, oh, great cut there from Lawrence. Unofficial time on the board over there of 9:96. So that's a great time. So we just have to wait.
Both cuts were good.
Just have to wait for confirmation, but it looks like Lawrence is very, very close to beating the previous national record, with a 9.96. Okay, they're just waiting to confirm the time there for Lawrence. It was a very, very fast time. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there's another record broken today, so there's confirmation of a national record at 9.94. So congratulations to Lawrence. That was a great cut. A very good display of how the tool, the MS661, is used. Our next two competitors, both Timber Sports heroes. Again, they'll have to do very, very well in this event to get over Lawrence's time of 9.94 seconds. Ready to go. Okay. Please welcome to the stage Brad DeLosa and Jamie Head. Brad DeLosa actually held that national record for a long, long time, so he'll be looking to do his best to try and get that back. Jamie is the current Australian champion, so also looking to make his mark in this event. The MS661 professional saw.
Warm up the saws. Athletes ready?
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, we see Brad there. 10.46 unofficial, so not close to the 9.94 with Lawrence. You see the competitors, they shake hands most of the time. They're all good friends outside the competition and ultra competitive when they're on there.
Both cuts were good.
Both cuts are good. Okay. While we're getting set up, I have with me Jack Stratton, who competed in his first rookie championship here at St Kilda in 2024. Jack, tell us a little bit about what it's like getting prepared for an event like this.
Yeah, thanks, Simon. Yeah, for sure, it's quite different to your standard wood shops. You've still got all the same events, but obviously the wood's a lot softer here. And, you know, we cut these one-board trees, which we don't cut in competition otherwise. So, yeah, it's just all about getting the little things right and trying to find the balance between not getting disqualified and still getting a good time.
Well, that's exactly right. The preparation for this sort of event Jack. I would assume that you've been preparing for most of the year to get ready for today.
Yeah, so we qualified in May, so the months leading up to that I did a fair bit of preparation, and then into the wood chopping season over the winter in Queensland, so you sort of use that for a bit of your preparation and then cutting as much as you can at home, getting your gear honed and just sitting at home thinking about it a bit.
Yeah, that's great, Jack. Thanks for that. He's going to hang around and do a little bit of commentary for us as well. So you can see the standing block cradles starting to come out now. There's going to be 4 competitors that don't progress after this event. So everybody's doing their best to make up as good at times as they can. We've seen personal bests, we've seen a national record, we saw a world record this morning in the rookies by Curtis Bennett. So the times today have been terrific. So there's the stock saw results. Lawrence O'Toole with a national record of 9.94. So that's a very, very good time there from Lawrence. And you can see there too the personal bests by a lot of the competitors. Glenn Gillan there, unfortunately a disqualification. Brian Wagner, first timer in the Australian Championship, doing very well. Great axe person. The overall standings there with Braden on 20, Mitchell on 18, Cody on 16. Jake Dingle and Brad Delos are very close in there. But again, we've got the standing block now. So 4 competitors won't progress past the standing block. We get down to the top 8. And then we'll have the finale at the end of the day with the hot saw. The hot saws that these guys are running today probably average about 300 cc's. They're very, very powerful. Okay, so we're just going to go to the screen to have a look at the standing block event.
The standing block is the second axe event of the day where athletes slay at least 50% of the front side before traversing and turning to remove the back half, finalising their hit patterns with ripping overhand drives.
So you can see there, ladies and gentlemen, the pairings that we have for the standing block chop. Brian Wagner will be against Brent Reeves. That's a great matchup. Daniel Gurr, terrific standing block cutter. Brad Delosa, the ultimate timber sports champion in Australia. Jamie Head, the current champion. Cody Steers is always searching for a win. He'll be competing against Jamie. Your very own Lawrence O'Toole, matched up with Mitchell Argent, arguably the best standing block cutter in the world right now and has been for several years. Jake Dingle, very, very keen to get his name on the trophy. Very keen to do well. He's a great competitor. He's against David Rumer. David this morning had a bit of an unfortunate incident and was disqualified in his underhand event. But David is certainly going to make his mark in Timber Sports Championships in Australia in the coming years. Glenn Gillam, one of the hardest hitters wood chopping has seen for many years. He'll be against probably the next or equal hard hitter in Braden Meyer. So this is a great round of matchups. Again, 4 competitors will drop out after the standing block and we're left with the top 8. The wood that they're cutting today is poplar. It is cut in Timber Sports series right around the world. So it's all the same species. The crew on the stage there are doing a terrific job. Our timekeepers and videographers and cameramen all do a great job. So it won't be long. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Brian Wagner and Brent Rees. Two great standing block cutters. Brent's competed in the famous Chopperoos team. Brian looking to make his mark in the Timber Sports Australian Championship.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Both competitors around there in the back together. That's a good cut there by Brian. (16.38). That's a very good time to set in the first round of the standing block. Brent will be a little bit disappointed with that.
Both cuts were good.
Both cuts are good. It's been a cool morning, and the competitors, although they warm up as best they can, it's still cool. You can see Brent just missed his bottom line there by a little bit, and that means you've got to make an adjustment on the fly between your hits, and that's hard to do. So Brian setting a 16 and a half second time in that event was a very good time to post. The standing block chop represents the old timers in the bush felling the trees before we had chainsaws and modern equipment. And the underhand event represents when the bushmen or the bushworkers used to head the logs off in the bush to get them out. Again, our work crew doing a great job. Plenty of chips flying. Great Timber Sports action. Again, we'd like to thank everybody for coming out today. We had a postponement from yesterday's competition. Held it over until today to beat the weather. And apart from a bit of a breeze, we've got a very, very nice day. So thanks, St Kilda. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Daniel Gurr and Brad DeLosa. Brad's many-time champion in this event. And I've still got Jack here. Jack, the preparation for these events is very important.
Yes, for sure, Simon. Preparation is key for these events. You want to know what you're going to be doing before you have to do it, and you want to get your gear running right, and you want to yeah, just get it right without minimising mistakes.
Okay, won't be long and we'll be over to the starter.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Both competitors around together. Yeah, great cut there by Brad. 16.88 unofficial, 17.83 for Daniel. Very, very close to Daniel's personal best time there, only 0.3 of a second, so good cutting.
Both cuts are good.
Both cuts are good. Well done, guys. Wood preparation is vitally important for the guys. And I'll get them to come out. The next two competitors, again, only half a second separates their personal best times. Jack, we've been fairly fortunate in Australia to have the great champions that we've had, or that we do have, and to keep the winning culture going in Australia with the rookie series is very important.
Yes, for sure. It's good to see in the rookies. Like, we've obviously got the likes of Curtis Bennett and Awatea Moore-Barrett, who both had a crack at a world record in the underhand today. I think Awatea broke it first, and then Curtis got it straight after. So it's good to see that the rookies keep pushing the barriers and getting better and better. And you can see a few of them going real well in this pro division in the years to come.
Yeah, I think so too, Jack, and I think you've got to include yourself in that, mate, over the next few years. So it was Curtis's last year in the rookies this year, so he'll make a decision this year on progressing through to the Pro Series. Okay, we'd like to welcome to the stage Jamie Head and Cody Steers. Jamie, our current title holder, be looking to post a good time here. And Cody looking to get his name on the trophy down there in the front of the stage. It's a beautiful trophy. Jamie's meticulous with his training and trains hard for these events.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Very good cut there by Cody. 14-2-1. Putting his mark on here. Both him and Jamie posting personal best times. The personal best times that we're seeing, Jack, I think are representative of how keen our pro guys are and how much they really want to get their name on that trophy.
Both cuts were good.
Yeah, for sure. These blokes look pretty hungry today. So few personal bests dropping, and I think we saw a few in the rookies as well in most events, so it's good to see. The Woods obviously playing in the favour of a personal best. It's nice, looks nice and even and pretty good to cut.
Yeah, thanks, Jack. Our next two competitors through the 2023 Timber Sports, personal best times 15:49 and 15:36. So there's not a lot that separates our next two competitors. We're getting a few more people coming in. Okay, our next two competitors, Lawrence O'Toole from Victoria and Mitchell Argent. Lawrence will be keen to put up a good performance here in this standing block. Mitchell, one of the best or the best standing block cutter in the world at the moment. So Lawrence will be doing everything he can to keep Mitchell honest in this event.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
You see Mitchell first around there into the back. Lawrence is not far away. Oh. There you go. You see two contrasting cuts there. Lawrence opened with a 1-1. Mitchell opened with a 2 with his traditional 6-hit front. Those times will be very, very good.
Both cuts were good.
Well done, guys. Jack, again, two starkly different cuts there by those guys. You'll see Mitchell with the 2 up start and Lawrence with a 1 up start, but the 1 up start just gave Lawrence a bit bigger front.
Yeah, it did by the looks of it, so that's one thing that the athletes will have in mind before they go out to chop, is whether they'll open with 1 hit up, 1 hit down, which will take them to an 8-hit front, or the 2 hits up, 2 hits down, 2 hits up for the 6 hit. So Lawrence obviously got a very good hole in him and was able to go 1 up, 1 down, and 1 up in his near corner, and was able to get it just with a couple drivers. So yeah, it was good to see the contrasting cuts.
Absolutely it was, and we'll get those times up on the board shortly, but that I would think would be a personal best time for those guys for this year. Again, following this event, there are 4 competitors that won't progress through to the next round. And then after 2 events after that, another 2 won't progress. Our crew, our blocks are just about ready to go for the next event. Our next two competitors, both very competitive. Again, looking to make a mark in the Australian Championship Stihl Timber Sports. Okay, welcome to the stage, Jake Dingle and David Rumer.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, very, very close there. Very close. You'll see that David's log just sat for a second, or not even a second, a split second. So those times are going to be very, very close.
Both cuts were good.
Both cuts are good. Those times up there are a little bit unofficial, but very, very close. It'll be interesting to see the result of that event. The competitors coming up are two of the hardest hitters that you'll ever see in the sport of wood chopping. Two great competitors. Okay, we'll get a few places up shortly. Yeah, okay. So coming into this event, we still have Cody Steers. He's leading the competition at the moment. Very closely followed by Mitchell Argent, Jake Dingle and Lawrence O'Toole. So after this event, four will not progress. Our next two competitors, we're saving the best to last in the standing block. Jack, to watch these two next standing block cutters that are going to come up that we'll introduce shortly. They're two big hitters.
Yes, they are two big hitters. We've got Glenn Gillum and Braden Meyer. You'll probably won't find two blokes that hit the wood as hard as these two. Braden, you'd argue, is in career best form, just broke the world record in the underhand, his own world record. So it'll be very interesting to see what these two do.
Yeah, it certainly will. Yep, so we have Glenn Gillum and Braden Meyer.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, great time there by Braden. Terrific times, again unofficial, but 12.99. Not quite as fast as his personal best, but close. So in a few moments we'll get the current leaderboard up on the screen for us.
Both cuts were good.
Well done, guys. Again, we won't see four of the bottom competitors will drop out and not progress through to the next round. You'll see, ladies and gentlemen, when we get the times there on the board for that standing block, we've had some personal best broken all day. We had a world record this morning in the rookies. We've had a national record in the chainsaw. We're just starting to get prepared now. So it won't be long before we get our results up on the board. Jack, with the competitors and the competition that we have today, the opportunity to get to represent your country overseas in your sport is the highest honour, and the competition that we're seeing today is representative of how hungry these guys actually are to get their name on that trophy.
Yes, that's right. It is a great honour to represent the Chopperoos over in Europe. Don't believe many blokes have done it because that top end of this competition is so competitive. And the top blokes are really just that good. So these blokes look fairly hungry today to try and rustle some feathers and get some new names into that Chopperoos team, and it'd be interesting to watch.
Well, we can see that by the personal bests that are being broken. Again, a world record, some national record being broken today. So, you know, they're hungry. They're hungry, certainly hungry for a win. There's no doubt about that. The single buck, the misery whip, will be coming. So there's our standing block standings. First, 13.96 with a personal best with Cody Steers, Lawrence O'Toole, Mitchell Argent. That's our top 8. So you can see some of the standing block times there. Won't be long and we'll get our overall standings up. event today is being live streamed right around the world. The Australian 2024 Championship, the STIHL Timbersports Series. So we'll have our overall standings come up on the board shortly. The single buck, commonly known as the misery whip, will be coming up shortly. They're highly tuned, highly sharpened pieces of equipment or tools that are used. The average peg and raker saw now costs between $4,000 and $5,000, and the competitors have 3 or 4 or 5 saws that they take with them for different competition. And the single-handed sawing, Jack, is almost a specialty of yours. You've done exceptionally well in it in the last few years. Tell us a little bit about how hard it is to use the single saw.
Yeah, so it is commonly called the misery whip because if you do get it wrong, it ends up being pretty miserable. But yeah, I think single sawing is all about keeping the saw nice and smooth. Like these saws are designed to cut as much as possible per stroke. So they can get quite sensitive to changes of angle when you're sawing, and you know, even if you just make small changes like moving your feet could bind the saw up, and they are real tricky to get started again. So smooth runs normally your top priority before a super quick run. You just want to get a nice smooth run under the belt, and it's just a nice bonus if it's quick.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's probably one of the most difficult disciplines that we have, the single sawing or the single buck. And the tree felling are the two most arduous events in the timber sports. Okay, our first single buck heat is Glenn Gillum and Brad DeLosa. Okay, we're still having a few technical issues with our timing, so we will get the overall standings up shortly. Brad DeLosa has been the single buck premier sawyer in the world for quite a few years now. He'll be looking to do well in this event.
There you go.
Glenn Gillum always competitive. Okay, we're just about right for a start. You'll see that we've got the overall standings that now over there on the board. We'll hand over to the starter.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Great cut there by Brad. Jack, Brad's technique in the sawing is a good one to watch.
Yes, for sure. If you want to learn how to single saw, Brad DeLosa is one of the best blokes in the world to learn off. He's very smooth, uses the whole length of the saw. He's yeah, pretty good to watch when he's on.
He certainly is, and we saw in the overall standings there on the board just a little while ago
Both cuts were good.
Braden Meyer sitting in first place, closely followed by Cody Steers.
Brad, that looked like a pretty good cut from yourself. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, low 14's always a good time. Probably a little bit heavy towards the bottom there. I could have brought it off a little bit earlier, I thought, but generally speaking, anywhere in the 14's pretty good.
Thank you. Good luck for the rest.
So in our overall standings, Braden Myers on 32 points, Cody Steers 27, Mitchell Argent 25, Jake Dingle 25, Lawrence O'Toole makes up the top 5 on 23. So the saws for the next two competitors are coming out. Please welcome to the stage Jamie Head and Lawrence O'Toole. Jamie's a great sawyer. Lawrence O'Toole, Victoria's favourite son, from a long line of wood chopping in the O'Toole family.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Nice cut there from Jamie. The guys work hard in that event.
Once again, I think it's the two differing techniques from Jamie and Lawrence. Lawrence obviously had the longer, slower strokes, hoping to cut a bit more wood per stroke, and Jim looked like he was trying to go for a bit more speed with his strokes, and it ended up working for him.
Yeah, it certainly did that time. Jimmy's a great, well, they're both great single-handed sawyers, but Jimmy prides himself on his single-handed sawing.
Both cuts were good.
Jim, do you reckon you're pretty happy with that time? Or?
Yeah, that's a pretty good time. I'm not sure what happened to Brad. It was a bit in front of that. I don't know whether I could go any better there. Saw seemed to be cutting pretty sweet and finish off pretty nice. So just have to hook in the springboard now.
Awesome, thank you. So you can just hear in the athlete's voice when we interview them, they are a bit puffed, and then hence the name, the Misery Whip.
Yeah, that's for sure, Jack. It's certainly hard work. As we said earlier, ladies and gentlemen, there are 4 competitors that haven't progressed through to this round. So there'll be a few guys disappointed with that this morning, but that's the way it works. You've got to work hard to get the opportunity and to get presented with the Australian STIHL Timbersports Championship. It's a very prestigious event to win. Okay, well, welcome to the stage, Jake Dingle and Mitchell Argent. Starting to get a few people coming in now, Jack. It's good to see some support.
Yeah, the weather's a lot better than it was yesterday, obviously, so it's good to see some people rolling in. Sun's out, wind's blowing a bit, but not too much to complain about. September in Melbourne.
That's for sure. We'll see our times there on the overall rankings for the single buck so far. Brad DeLosa with the fastest time.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Seen both working fairly hard there. There's Jake off and Mitchell not too far behind him.
Unofficially, that looks like 2 personal bests for the boys, so I think they'll be pretty happy with that.
Absolutely, they will. Well done to those 2 competitors. Yeah, it looks like personal best times for them, so they should be happy with that.
Both cuts were good.
Congratulations, guys. We'll just grab a quick word there with Jake.
Jake, you must be pretty happy with that. Not really known for your single soaring, but I'm pretty well aware that you've worked pretty hard on it behind the scenes.
Yeah, I suppose I've only been sort of single soaring since I started timber sports, so yeah, relatively new to soaring compared to a lot of these other fellas that have been around for a while. But yeah, I do put a lot of work into my soaring, it shows, and yeah, I think I'm getting better every time, so that might help.
Yeah, well, it looks like it from your new personal best. Well done, mate. Good luck for the rest of the day.
We'll just get our logs set for our next 2 competitors. And you can see there on the board, both personal bests for Jake and Mitchell, so that's good for them, getting better and better all the time.
Next 2 competitors are Cody Steers and Braden Meyer, both very accomplished sawyers in their own respect. Cody Steers with his PB of 23 seconds, Braden with 13. Cody will probably look like breaking that personal best. He's a very good single sawyer. It'll be good to see what he's capable of today.
This is the last heat of the single buck. Cody steers there on the left in the yellow. Braden Meyer, our current leader.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, we see Cody there. Braden just had a bit of a hang up there at the end. Cody be very, very happy with that time, Jack, beating his personal best.
Yes, he would be. Looks like he smashed his personal best, and that's a pretty important race in this championship title. These blokes are obviously first and second at this point, so good battle.
Yeah, mate, that's for sure.
Both cuts were good.
There we go, Braden, our current leader. Cody there very, very close behind him.
Cody, you look pretty happy to get a win over the current championship leader. How do you feel about that one?
Yeah, not very often I get to beat Braden, so yeah, it's good. He's an incredible athlete, obviously, as you've seen already. So yeah, no, hopefully I can just keep enough points to keep up there, yeah.
You're off to the Springboard now?
Yeah, I do love a good springboard, so yeah, I'll go and get ready for that.
Good, we're keen to watch it. Thank you.
Okay, we'll get those results up on the board as soon as we can. There we go, so the single buck there. Brad DeLosa with the fastest time, 14.41. Our current leader, Braden, coming in 5th position in that event, so he won't be very happy with that. But he soared extremely well, so that's good. Again, four personal best times being posted in that event, so again, the guys are hungry for a win. Springboard is coming up next. So overall standings there. Braden still in front on 40. Cody 37. Brad DeLosa, as he does most years, he sneaks up on these guys. Jimmy Head there, Stu's still in the running. And Jake Dingle not far behind. So the overall standings with 2 events to run. Braden maintaining his lead, although not very big. Again, the ultimate professional in this event. Braden always rises to the top. And the other guys, Cody, Brad, Jamie, all doing their best to run them down. Brad DeLosa is an expert. Tree poles will come out shortly. Good to see that we've got a few people around again in lovely St Kilda Beach. Jack?
Yes, it is good to see. Thank you to everyone that's come out, and I think it's cold weather, so thanks for braving the cold weather and coming to watch us. It really makes a bit of an atmosphere out of it, and these athletes do get a little extra edge from your support.
Well, they certainly do, and considering yesterday we had to postpone until this morning to get our events out of the way, so we're very lucky and very fortunate today to be able to run the event. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a bit of stuff to give away down the front down here. Anybody that would like a stubby cooler or a drink cooler, come and let us know. We'll throw a few of those out. We've got a few here to give away, so you won't miss out. So a couple of things that we'd like to know for the people that follow timber sports. Who's your favourite athlete?
O'Toole.
Lawrence O'Toole, of course. That's good. All our athletes are very popular. We've seen some personal bests and some world records broken today. It's great to see. Our competition is fierce. So we'll get a few of the guys down. Being here in Victoria, we have two favourite sons. What do you think of the competition today so far?
It's looking good today. Some of the boys.
It certainly is. We've got two events to run. The Springboard, and the hot saw. The hot saw event is again one of the most difficult events that we have in our competition. We're going to run. Here comes a late bloomer. What do you think of today's competition so far?
Yeah, a lot of fun. Great to watch.
Yeah, that's terrific. Thank you. We've got a few more coolers down here that we're happy to give away. Our tree poles will start to come out shortly. There you go, the drink coolers, the stubby holders. Okay, we're going to go to our screen shortly to see some of last year's World Championship highlights. We're ready to go.
I know that we've put the work in, so it's ready to go.
you have it. That was Jamie Head, who was the winner of the Australian Championship last year and went on to win the Worlds over in Europe. So he's pretty well poised to potentially emulate that again. He's on 32 points, sitting in 4th place behind Braden Meyer on 40, Cody Steers on 37 and Brad DeLosa on 34. This next event, the Springboard, will be pretty decisive in the championship points, so it'll be interesting to see.
Battery system.
Our 3 poles are just out the back, having the final preparations.
Get your garden ready.
Put on them.
Supercharge your spring with the experts in battery power. Buy any STIHL home
After
garden
the
tool,
Springboard
battery and charger
event,
bundle. Get a
a
second
further
battery,
2 competitors
half price. STIHL
will
only
not progress.
from STIHL dealers.
And then we'll come down to our hot saw. Braden Meyer, our current leader, on 40 points. Very closely followed by Cody Steers and Brad DeLosa. Brad has a reputation of coming through the field and sneaking up on the place getters, and he always gives himself every opportunity to win the Australian Championship. You can see our Springboard competitors have come up there on the board. It'll be Glenn Gillum and Brad DeLosa, Jamie Head and Lawrence O'Toole, Jake Dingle, Mitchell Argent, Cody Steers and Braden Meyer. You see the tree poles coming through the back there now. I'll get them in and get the logs on them and get them set. Again, 2 competitors from that list of 8 will drop off. World record time of 35, 33, 43. Very fast time. We'd like to thank St Kilda, Melbourne, for putting on a good day for us. Yesterday we had a postponement because of the weather, so we've been fortunate this morning to get our events run.
Great to see we still got a decent crowd out here. Wind's picked up a little bit, but the sun's out. Perfect weather for timber sports, and it's good to see everyone here on such short notice after the postponement yesterday. If any of you guys have any questions, feel free to pop up, duck over and ask us. Probably a few questions above my pay grade, but I'll try my best.
That's it. Now we can see our overall standings. Jack, Braden Meyer, out in front as he does, going extremely well. Cody Steers, been keen to get in the top position for quite a few years now. Brad DeLosa, again, the ultimate professional when it comes to getting points in the last couple of events, so, you know, he's not too far away.
Yeah, that's right. That top 6 is looking pretty tight, and the top 8's looking pretty tight too. This is the second round of events between the single buck and the Springboard, so we have 8 athletes down from 12. And then after this, the bottom 2 athletes out of that 8 will drop out and won't get to run their hot sauce. So these blokes would be pretty keen to get some good Springboard times under their belt and get their foot in that Chopperoos side.
Absolutely they will, and as we've seen in previous years, anything can happen in the hot saw event, so it'll be exciting.
That's right, hot saw is triple points as well in that last round, so really anything can happen. And it's good to see in that top 6 we've got Jake Dingle and Cody Steers, both uncapped in the Chopperoos side, so they'd be quite keen keep pushing their way through these rounds and get their way into that team.
Yeah, they certainly will, Jack. There's no question about that. And again, as I said, you know, Brad Delosa is renowned for coming through the field and coming out on top after the last event. So, you know, sitting in third place where he is, having that triple point system in the hot saw. Brad Delosa, Jimmy Head and Jake Dingle certainly not out of it. Glenn Gillum certainly not out of it.
And the two gentlemen in 7th and 8th, it'd be very silly to write those off. Mitch Argent is probably one of your best stand and block cutters in the world. He's been a world record holder, potentially still could be a world record holder in the stand and block over in Europe. And Lawrence O'Toole has won this championship a couple times. He's won the Worlds. He's done everything you can do in timber sports, so he'd be very difficult to write off at this stage.
Our first two tree poles there coming out. The logs will come out and we'll get them screwed on very shortly.
You'll notice the athletes have their, what we call board holes, marked out pretty meticulously. It's quite a technical event, the Springboard. You sort of want all your board holes to line up so you're cutting in the right spot on your scarf up top. It's really key to this event is getting all that stuff right, getting your measurements right before you go out, and just executing your board holes as best as possible, making sure your board is as close to level as you can get it to give you the perfect amount of spring on top to cut the top.
Yeah, that's right, Jack. Again, another difficult event in our sport. We've got to thank our crew, our stage crew, for doing such a wonderful job. They do that each and every STIHL Timber Sports event that we have in Australia. They travel around for STIHL Timber Sports. It takes a lot of organising and a lot of getting things right. We have had a few difficulties today because of the experience that we had yesterday with the weather, so thank you for bearing with us. Once we get set up, it won't take very long to get through this event.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you've got a flag, if you've been given a flag, if you'd kindly just raise it up and give it a wave. We're going to get this camera pan over you for TV onto the live stream and onto 7 Mate. So if you've got a flag, wave it in the air. Might be able to see yourself on telly.
That's it. merchandise tent over here as well.
See, we've got a custom one for Brent Reese over there, waving proudly.
Ladies and gentlemen, while we've got a bit of time in the crowd here today, we have Matthew Coffey. Matty was last year's rookie champion and then went overseas and won the World Championships for the rookies. So welcome, Matty. Congratulations on your win last year.
Thanks, Simon. Thanks for having me here today.
Yeah, that's good, mate. We're glad that you come along. Mate, the work that you've got to put in to an event like the STIHL Timbersport Series and the rookies to get to go overseas to represent your country, there's a lot of work that goes into it.
There's a hell of a lot of work that goes into being competitive in this sport because it's a lot of technicality and just being able to do it.
Well, that's good, mate. Well, congratulations, Matty, on your win in the Rookies World Championship this year. So congratulations, well done. You can see the trophy down here at the front of the stage. Has our previous winners on it. These guys today, very keen. Braden Meyer 2015, Brad DeLosa 16, Brad DeLosa 17. Lawrence O'Toole 2018, Braden Meyer again in 2019. In 2020 and 21, the coronavirus won those years. Brad DeLosa in 22 and our current champion Jamie Head in 23.
Now's your chance for those in the crowd, if you have any questions, to come up and just ask, man. We'll try our best to answer them.
Ladies and gentlemen, down the front here, I have been given quite a few posters from Brad DeLosa. So if there's any Brad DeLosa fans in the crowd, there's his family. Of course, they're going to put their hands up. We'd like you to come forward and grab a poster from Brad. And if you hang around a little bit after the event, Brad will come out after the event and sign those for you. So I'm going to ask this question. I'm giving you a Brad DeLosa poster. Who's your favourite athlete?
It is Brad DeLosa.
That's correct. Been watching him since he was 20. So if you hang around for a little while, after the day's proceedings are done, Brad will come out and he will sign these pictures for you. That's okay. Take the bottom one. There you go. There you go, mate. Take the bottom one. No, right down the bottom. That's it. That's my pleasure. They're courtesy of Brad. Australian timber sports legend, without question. So if anybody would like one, please come forward and ask me. But if you do have one and you hang around, after the day's proceedings, Brad will sign those posters for you. See the preparation that goes into the events that we have. It takes a while to get sorted. Got Glenn Gillam, Lawrence O'Toole, both Victorian champions. Both looking to get their name on the trophy this weekend. Jamie Head there in the middle, our current champion. Yep, so we have some Brad DeLosa posters down here. We have some stubby coolers.
See our deck crew are making the final preparations for this springboard for the first 4 competitors. The athletes are just out making sure everything's up to their standard, everything's nice and straight and the markings line up. It's obviously a very technical discipline. The springboard requires a lot of accuracy and pretty good judgment to know when your pocket's ready to put the board in, getting it sitting at the right angle so you get the right amount of spring on your back leg when you're swinging up top.
So we won't be far away. The first heat that we'll have in the springboard will be Brad DeLosa and Glenn Gillam, followed by Jamie Head, Lawrence O'Toole, Jake Dingle, Mitchell Argent, Cody Steers in second place overall, not too far behind our current leader Braden Meyer. The guys are out the back just getting ready for this event, one of the harder events that we have in our sport. The axes that you see the guys use today through most wood chopping competition, they're a very highly carbonised steel. They have lots of different additives in them to be able to hold a sharp edge and to be able to take the impact that these guys hit with. The axe head, when it's travelling through the air, is doing close to 200 kilometres an hour, so the impact force is quite large on the axes, so they need to be very high quality steel so they can stand. And after the competitors get them from the factory, they're not always ground to the specifications that the axeman would like, and they can spend many tens of hours, 20 or 30 hours on each axe getting it ready for competition. So they use different size axes, different length handles, different weighted axes for different events. So the guys that come here today, there's 2 wood chopping events. 3 wood chopping events, including the tree, and they would probably bring 12 or 13 axes with them. So on the day that they can find, or hopefully find, the right axe or the right tool to do the job. A lot of our competitors are professional arborists and foresters. They all make use of the MS661 STIHL chainsaw. The ultimate chainsaw for the professional, without question, all right around the world.
Just making the final preparations for the springboard. Not long now till we ask the athletes to come out and get it kicked off. Just making sure that everything's safe, everything's tight and up to the specifications that the athletes require.
And as Jack mentioned before, the preparation, you can see they've got their board holes marked out on their log. When they first put their first 2 hits in, that gives them a very good indication of what the tree pole is like, and then that will tell them then what they'll do for the rest of the event.
See, the athletes are allowed 1 helper each, carry their boards out. They're not allowed to set out the boards for the athletes, but they're allowed to bring them out. Once we call them up, they'll put the boards in the right spot, put some weighted sandbags behind them so they stay where they need to be. Okay, for our first heat of the springboard, we have Glenn Gillum on stand A and Brad DeLosa on stand B. Please give them a warm welcome. Both athletes have personal bests under the 50-second mark, so this will be a very quick race.
see the guys preparing their pre-boards. Great competition. Does take a little bit of setting up, so thank you everybody for hanging around, staying with us. Brad just there making a few final preparations, and we'll get over into the hands of the starter shortly.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
You see Brad there up on his second board now, getting his front in. Glenn's just had a few problems there. He's shortened up on his bottom board to make sure that he gets his second board in and get it set properly. There we go, he's got a good second board set. Brad won't be far from turning there. He's now into the back.
See Brad Delos is opting for the, oh, he's off already.
There we go, there's Brad off. We can see Glenn terrific on top. Bit unfortunate with that first board set that he got. Didn't quite do what he wanted it to do.
See Glenn's opting for the downward slice motion. He actually keeps his feet in the same spot, whereas you see most athletes swap their feet on the board, which is obviously a different technique of his that works for him. And they're both off.
There we go. That's a pretty reasonable time there from Brad. As we said earlier, Brad's got a reputation for sneaking up through the last 3 or 4 events to get himself into that first position. He'd be happy with that cut.
Both cuts were good.
Well done. Glenn will be disappointed with that.
Brad, looks like a good start for you, and obviously in that sub 50 seconds, you must be pretty happy with that.
Anything in the 40-second range is pretty good, but got some really good cutters, you know, coming up. So a little bit flat in the top of that log, which probably cost me a few more hits, but generally speaking, you know, it's pretty good. But just like to say thanks to the crowd coming out. Hope you're enjoying the day. So thanks very much, St Kilda.
Thank you, Brad.
Won't be long before our next 2 competitors are ready to go. Our next 2 competitors, welcome to the stage, Head and Lawrence O'Toole.
Both have personal bests in and around that 40-second mark, so they'd be pretty happy to get around that today and get their spot secured to have a run on the hot saw later. You'll notice they have slightly wider boards to stand on top, which just helps them give that a bit extra balance for when they swap their feet around to cut the backside.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
It's going to be a good race. Both are up to the top board with 4 hits on their bottom hole and 6 hits on their top. It's going to be a race to see who cuts the top quickest.
In the 44-second range there for Lawrence, he'll be happy with that. Giving himself every opportunity to move through to the final round.
Both cuts were good.
Well done there. 2 very, very good tree felling events there. Lawrence will try and get a word with him on his way down. Haven't had the opportunity today yet, but again, giving himself every opportunity.
44 seconds in that springboard run. Laurie, you're obviously pretty keen to have a run with your hot saw later.
Oh, that's the aim, mate. I'd love to get a run in the hot saw the way my day's been going, but I'll have to wait and see now.
Yeah, should be pretty happy with that cut. It was good to watch from down here. Good luck for the rest. And I think if you look towards the big screen, ladies and gentlemen, we just got a couple videos to play for you from last year.
We create the pressure for everyone else. We're the team to beat, and the boys just know how to get things done.
So that was from the World Championship winning Chopperoos in 2023. Chopperoos, you'd argue, well, are the most dominant, well, we are the most dominant country when it comes to the World Team event over in Europe. We've won it many a times and tend to nearly take the same axemen over every year because they're just that strong in the upper echelon of the championship, so yeah.
Yeah, that's right, Jack. The Australians won the last 3 straight since we had the break from COVID. So, you know, Australia's dominance has certainly been up there, but we can't relax. The Europeans and the New Zealanders certainly all very competitive, the Americans. So we've done a good job to do what we've done, and we'll be doing everything we can to keep that pedestal as high as we can. So there's a lot of preparation. You see Braden Meyer up there, current leader. He's doing everything he can to ensure that he's there at the end of the day. Brad Delos has posted a good time in the tree. The Springboard event. Always got to keep an eye on Brad in these last 3 events.
The athletes will be looking for some pretty competitive times in this heat. As you can see, the championship race up until now has been very tight, so every point's going to count for these fellas. They all want a shot at running their hot saw in that triple points to try and clinch that championship.
Jake Dingle and Mitchell Argent, they'll be pairing off in the next heat. Then followed very closely by our first and second place getters for the day so far. Cody Steers and Braden Meyer. Braden's a great tree fella. Springboard competitor. Cody Steers likes a springboard. He said that to us earlier. We can see the importance of the setup. The guys have their springboard pockets marked out. You can see Jake Dingle there is giving instruction to the guys on where and how to put his log. Make sure that he gets it set in the position that he wants it set in.
Not long now till we ask Jake Dingle and Mitch Argent to make their way to the stage, just making those final preparations for the event. Both are quite handy in the springboard discipline, so it should be a good race between them. Both will be pretty hungry to get good times under their belt. All the preparation up there under the watchful eye of our judges. Okay, our next competitors, they'll come out onto the stage shortly, which will be Jake Dingle and Mitchell, Jake Dingle and Mitchell Argent. Both have times that are less than a second apart. So this will be a competitive race. Both previously cut in the 43 and 44 second range.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Both 4 hits in the bottom pocket.
There you go, that's a blistering time set by Mitch. Nearly cut him off in the front, was lucky enough to get that hit around the back that he needed. He'll be pretty happy with a sub 40 cut, that's for sure. We just wait for the judge's decision on that one. Hopefully we'll get Mitch down for a chat.
Both cuts were good.
That was a great cut there by Mitchell. You see his log slabbed off there in his last blow up, and he had enough composure to be able to handle that properly, so it was very good.
Mitch, I'd imagine you'd be pretty happy with that, cut him right off in the front.
Yeah, slicing is probably not my strongest point in the back, so I'll try and get a long way through the front before turning.
Yeah, seems like the way to go. So you put yourself in a pretty good position to get through the next round. Are you excited?
Yeah, that was my goal, to run the hot saw. It hasn't been one of my best disciplines, the hot saw in the past, so got a new saw and just hope to make a good run if I get through.
Good to hear. We hope to see it. Good luck.
Okay, we'll welcome to the stage Braden Meyer and Cody Steers.
This will be the race to keep your eye on, ladies and gentlemen. This is your first and second in the championship race at the moment. They'll both be pretty hungry to get a good time here.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Both are up the top in similar times. We'll have to see who cuts best on top. Both axemen making pretty light work of this log on top. They won't be long till they turn around.
Well, there, Cody will be happy with that. There, Braden won't be very happy with that at all. Cody cut a good tree in the Springboard.
Did tell us before it's one of his favourite events. I don't know if that was a bit of tongue in cheek, but he should be pretty happy with that.
You can see how important the board set is to get your boards right in the pockets.
Both cuts were good.
Makes a big difference to your overall times. That was first and second in that event. We'll get a bit of a chat with Cody as he comes past.
You did say before, Cody, you're an avid tree climber, so you should be pretty happy with the sub 50 and just about securing your spot to go to the next round and run your hot saw.
Yeah, I really thoroughly enjoy a springboard. It's good to finally get one down under a minute. It's not my strongest event, and I really needed a pretty good climb because with how the points are sitting, and I'm happy to come away with somewhat of a victory for me, I think.
Yeah, it's good to hear. Good luck for the rest of the day, Cody.
Yeah, well, Cody will be very happy with that. That was the last heat, or the last round of our springboard. We'll get the overall standings on that. The top 6 competitors from that will go through to compete in the hot saw. So there we go. Mitchell Argent with the fastest springboard time. Maximum points for Mitchell, so that gets him in very good. Lawrence second, Brad DeLosa third, always sneaking up Brad. Jimmy Head, Cody Steers, Braden Meyer, all there. They'll be all in the points, so the overall standings. Brad DeLosa 46, Cody Steers 45, Braden Meyer 44, Mitchell Argent, Jamie Head, Lawrence O'Toole will all progress through to the next round. Brad, as he's done many times before, sneaks his way through the field to the last event. Braden will be a little bit disappointed with his tree felling or his springboard. So, but very tight in that top 6. Very, very tight for points. From 6th back through to 1st. Brad DeLosa popped his head up, one event to go. Cody Steers been very consistent all day. Braden Myers been consistent all day. Jimmy Head, our current champion, he's in there with a shot. Great hot Sawyer. Lawrence O'Toole, your favourite son from Victoria today competing. He can never ever be ruled out of the hot saw event. Very, very consistent with his hot sawing.
How many pair do you think I'm going to bring?
These hot saws make a lot of noise. They're loud, they're fast, they're furious. So the hot soils will run in single form. Lawrence O'Toole will be the first competitor. Lawrence has just come home from a stint over in the USA. Spent some time over there with his hot saw, did extremely well. Jamie Head will follow Lawrence. It's up there on the board. Mitchell Argent, Braden Meyer, Cody Steers. And our now leader, Brad DeLosa. You can hear the saws out the back starting to warm up.
I've got one of our rookie competitors, Curtis Bennett, with me, who was telling me before that the hot saws make him quite excited and it's his favourite event. So do you want to give us a bit of an insight into how these saws work?
Yeah, so these hot saws range from about 250 to sort of upwards of 400 cc's. They make between 60 and 110 horsepower. They have chain speeds that reach 200 to 300 kilometres an hour. They've got a pretty well custom-made chain on them. And yeah, they're a fairly exciting thing to watch. They make heaps of noise, which is always good. But yeah, you'll see some pretty cool stuff here in a minute. When you can, when you can hold on to them and you can keep them straight, you can get a good cut. They're really impressive to watch and they're really impressive to use. So yeah, keep an eye out because you'll see some of the best hot saws and the best hot saw drivers in this event here very soon.
Thanks for that, Curtis. Yeah, so you're just hearing these hot saws warm up out the back. They are pretty mental. So they'll be twice as loud out here, so you might want to be blocking your ears during the competition. So you'll see the world record for this event is sitting at 4.62 seconds. To think about cutting a log that size 3 times up, and down again is pretty impressive. Doing that in the same amount of time it takes to, say, Barramundi 4 times.
The competitors get 150 millimetres of space into which to make their 3 cuts. They can't break the line. There's a line drawn around at that 150 millimetre mark. That line cannot be broken by the saw, otherwise that accounts for a disqualification.
And if you just turn your eyes to the screen, ladies and gentlemen, there is just a little clip on how the event works.
Athletes must cut 3 complete cookies in just 15 centimetres of the 46 centimetre diameter block. Jump the gun, cut over the line, or incomplete cookie will result in a DQ and end any chances of being crowned the champion.
So there you have it. Once put together, a well-cut hot saw event's probably one of the most impressive things you'll see in timber sports. to do it the pace they do with the size and power of the saws and the accuracy they do it is truly impressive. Obviously in such a high pressure situation as well, triple points on the line, so just about every athlete I think can win this event still, so it's pretty high pressure for them. As Curtis was saying, these chains move in excess of 200, 300 k's an hour, so we've got our safety screens on either side. The starter cord on the chainsaws actually come off the chainsaw when you pull them, so you've got to have a tether to hold it within a certain radius, otherwise the athlete will be disqualified. They'll be given 1 minute after the whistle to start their saw, warm it up, tie their starter cord back around and be ready to start with their hands on the wood for their timer.
The competitors with these hot saws. You see Lawrence coming out on the stage there now. Lawrence is going to be our first competitor. These saws can cost in excess of $20,000. So that's a relatively new saw of Lawrence's. He hasn't had it very long. He's been very successful with the runs that he's had with it. High CC motor, high revving motor, purpose built for STIHL Timbersports. You see Lawrence wearing a belt around his waist. That belt is not a weightlifting, although it's a weightlifting belt. That's actually there because these engines operate at such high RPM. That's there to stop the carburettor from sucking his shirt in. So that's why they wear these. The air intake of these high CC motors is phenomenal.
Warm up your saw. Seconds. Athlete ready?
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Very, very fast time there by Lawrence. That'll be an unofficial time, but the low 5-second mark is very, very good. Judge is checking his log.
Unfortunately, Lawrence has cut the line and there's no chalk there, so it's a DQ.
No, that's unfortunate for Lawrence there. He wanted to make his mark today, so he gave it everything he's got. Unfortunately, he's exceeded the 15 centimetre rule with the chalk. You can't infringe or can't cut that chalk line. It's there for skill purposes. So that's very, very unfortunate for Lawrence. He'll be disappointed with that result. The next competitor that we're going to have come onto the stage is the current title holder for the Australian STIHL Timbersports Championship. Jimmy Head has been running this saw very, very well. Jim will be up on the stage shortly. There is his saw.
With his green machine, he calls it.
His green machine, yep. The guys spend hours and hours, and they have technicians that work on these saws. They're very, very highly tuned. The chains that they run are not a standard chainsaw chain, although they're a chainsaw chain. They call them a high top chain. Because there's so much power, the high top chain allows the saw chain to clear the chip and to give them much faster times.
The saw. Thirty seconds. Athlete ready?
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
We'll see that Jim went back there to try and cut another cookie. His saw ran out on him the first time.
Does go to show how difficult these hot saws can be to operate, and just how heavy they are and how powerful they are. It can cause quite some headache.
They can cause some headaches, all right. And again, these events are run and won.
Jamie's DQ'd. He hasn't completed the cookies.
Unfortunately there for Jamie. Incomplete cookies. So we can see what happens in this event. And STIHL Timbersports is never over until it's over. The competitors work hard. There was actually 12 of those hot saws came to this event, and only 6 competitors get to run them. Archie just straightening the log up there. You can see the amount of sawdust that these chainsaws produce. Good to see we've got a good crowd come in for this last event. Unfortunately, our first two competitors haven't completed their event. Lawrence cut his line, so he was a disqualification, and then unfortunately for Jamie, he didn't have a complete cookie. The next competitor that we've got coming onto the stage will be Mitchell Argent from Queensland. Mitchell looks forward to running his saw. And as we've seen, Jack, this event can throw up anything.
Yeah, that's right. These machines are quite unpredictable. The chain speed of these saws makes them very, very hard to use. And even as experienced of a campaigner as Jamie Head is, they can still throw some curveballs at you. So really is good watching and completely unpredictable to see what happens until the end of the event.
Warm up the saw. Athlete ready?
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, we see how difficult these saws are to use. Mitchell went back a couple of times to try and post a time. Our third competitor in that event.
We've got another DQ. Mitch has cut over the line.
Unfortunately for Mitchell Argent, our third DQ. We'll quickly get this log changed out. Have our three remaining competitors. Three competitors remaining. Braden Meyer, Cody Steers, and Brad DeLosa. Three great competitors. Two previous champions, Braden Meyer and Brad DeLosa. The winner of today's event will go over to Toulouse in France in early November to represent Australia in the World Championship Steel Timber Sports. Three competitors that have just gone. Jack would be disappointed with their hot saw runs.
I'd say so, Simon. The three fellas coming up next have obviously seen what's going on with the first three competitors, and they've got a fair idea of what they're going to have to do.
Absolutely, that's the case, and they'll have our final three competitors will be certainly thinking very seriously about how they're going to approach what they do in their hot saw run.
Yeah, so and obviously Braden Meyer and Brad DeLosa are very experienced campaigners at this pointy end of the championship. Very experienced hot saw runners, and Brad DeLosa is pretty reliable on the hot saw. You'd nearly say he'd definitely get three wheels.
Well, you would think so. You would also thought that our previous three would have done the same thing. So anything can happen, and these guys will be conscious of what the previous three have just done. So we look forward to the next three runs. Our next competitor that'll come onto the stage will be Braden Meyer, former Victorian, now living in Queensland. Great competitor.
Braden would have full faith in his hot saw. This is the same hot saw that's won the Australian Championship. It's been over to Europe and it's won the World Championship, so he'd have full faith that he can get three good cuts off this one.
Yeah, I would think so. Jack, he's very reliable. The saw's been very reliable. And Braden will be doing everything he can to ensure that he gets three complete discs.
Warm up the saw. Seconds. Athlete ready?
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Looks from here that Braden has completed that. Got three complete wheels.
Looked like a pretty smart cut from Braden. He'd obviously seen some of the mistakes made before and just took that little bit extra time on his transitions.
Braden's cut was good.
There you go, unofficial earlier. Braden's got a time posted, so that's important for the position, the final positions. Great cut there from Braden.
Next competitor sitting second place in the championship points at the moment is Cody Steers. Said yesterday he was pretty keen to run his hot saw. So we'll see what he's capable of today. Heard through the grapevine that his hot saw's humming at the moment, so he'd be looking forward to getting a good cut out there.
Warm up your saw. Thirty seconds. Athlete ready?
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Wait for the judge's decision on that one, but Cody looks pretty happy with that.
All good. Cody's cut was good.
There you go. Well done, Cody.
That puts him in the driver's seat for the championship points at the moment, so Brad Delos is going to have to come out and beat that time set by Cody. It's just a waiting game now.
See Cody's official time up there on the board, 5:97. Very, very fast time.
So the bar's been set for Brad DeLosa now. He knows what he's going to have to come out and do. He's going to have to cut under that 5.97 time in order to win the championship.
He certainly is, Jack. And one thing that's in Brad's favour, he's done it many times before. He's performed with his hot saw in the final event.
He is Australia's Mr. Timber Sports. He's the most experienced campaigner we've got. Done it many a time. He's cut under that time many a times.
It won't be long and Brad DeLosa will be on the stage.
Warm up the saw. Seconds. Athlete ready?
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
We'll wait for the judge's decision, but unofficially, looks like Cody Steers is a pretty happy man.
You'll see some uncharacteristic things happen today with the hot saw. A little bit unusual, but the wood's been good. The guys have records that they want to break. They put too much pressure on the saw.
Brad's cut was good.
Okay, congratulations, Brad. Won't be long, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll have a presentation of our place getters. We thank everybody for coming out this afternoon. We had a postponement from yesterday's event due to the weather, so it's good to see a good few of you in this afternoon.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. What a performance, everybody. Give it up for the boys up on the stage here. The STIHL Timbersports Australian Championship 2024. You saw it here today. You can see where it comes right down to the wire, especially with those hot saws. Credit to everyone. So without further ado, I'll start rolling through. We'll go through the last 6. We'll see who come in. So at 6th place with 41 points, it's Lawrence O'Toole. Coming in at 5th on a very close at 42 points, it's Jamie Head. And number 4th position on 43, that's how close it is, only 1 point behind it, it's Mitchell Argent. The first person to make their way to the podium on 3rd at 58 points was Brad DeLosa. On 59 points, and in 2nd place, it's Braden Meyer. And in a magnificent event, and a great individual winner, the number 1 person today on 63 points, Cody Steers. Give it up, St Kilda. Woo! Cody's going to make his way to Toulouse to represent Australia as the individual winner. The 3 gentlemen up on stage today will be there also as the Chopperoos at Toulouse in November. We look forward to seeing their performance there. Well done, boys. Give it up to Kilda. That's what I'm talking about. Woo!